Hello everyone, Dungeon Frog here once again with another build idea, and we have a new support gem in Controlled Blaze. This one is really interesting. It makes pretty much our ignites more damagey, but also lowers all of our damage. So there is a sweet spot around 13 stacks and an average attack speed around 330, which this character does not reach, but if we would add Onslaught through a flask, we get there. And there might be probably even a bit more, because like if we don't fight the enemy, like we need to dodge or something like this, we want to have those 13 stacks. And yeah, is it worth it? At least on this build, which I tried, it's not really worth it. Like, it's a lot of work for a decent reward. It's fun, it's cool, but I hope someone else make a good idea with this skill, because I think it's a fun idea to have this overall. Maybe with Elemental Strike, but then it would be more like, because Elemental Strike is pretty good anyhow, so you can do pretty much anything with it. I tried to make it work on Dual Strike, and as you can see, it does like decent damage, and this is already on its sweet spot from 13 stacks. We're running a Slayer Duelist, getting the increased area melee strike range, because like we're running a melee attack, getting the Overleech node, some extra damage, and the big culling strike effect. The leveling is pretty decent. We can start with Frostblades, and as soon as we got... First we run with Elemental Proliferation, and then with Ignite Proliferation. This node helps a lot. It's close to the Duelist, which converts a lot of our physical damage to fire damage, so that we get early ignites. It also has a nice chance to ignite by its own, and also the new support gem, Controlled Blaze, is helping us with the ignite chance. We also use, once again, the new Volatility skill gem, really nice gem, working in a lot of different builds. There is a point getting in Cruelty, or if the enemy is already ignited, then we can take Immolated to get some more damage, both cases. But maybe you know the skill Dual Strike. It has some nice extra crit chance on the first strike, and I think that's like maybe one of the problems of those Controlled Blaze builds. Like, we want to stack to make like the big ignite with 13 stacks, so we need to have like in 4 seconds those 13 stacks. As you can see, if I put it down, our damage goes quite drastically down, and after 13 it does not go up, and 14 we are starting to lose damage more and more. That's not getting more and more less. And so the first problem might be to have like this initial moment where we try to have a nice clear, the ignite spread, and have a nice clear, a nice feeling. And that's why I think Dual Strike is a pretty good skill for it, because like even if we don't have like anything applied, as long as we are close to the enemy, we have a big hit, which helps us a lot with clearing, and then when we need it in a boss fight, we can go for the nice ignite damage. And as you can see, I don't have like anything interesting here plugged in. We are fighting Cyrus or any other Guardian Pinnacle boss on this thing. We're helping Alira, and yeah, we're always leeching anyhow, and that's actually automatically on because of this node. And we have the opportunity to get some alignment immunity. We have a decent hit pool, but this character does wear some items which are hard to find on Solo Self-Found, but probably in trade not so hard to get. And yeah, Perfect Agony is there for a lot of our damage. We're using daggers for some nice leech power, which helps us staying alive, combining well with the overleech node. We get some stun resistance here, and yeah, get some crit nodes, get some dot nodes. Overall, a nice package of skills which we get to the items. Yeah, you pretty much really need Ember Wake. It's like a huge damage up. So this is probably the most important item. You can run with one of the Abyss Sources. I think both are fine. I think in hardcore the replica is a bit better because it makes you more likely to survive. And Diadem Dawn is also a really nice damage belt. And yeah, you pretty much need all three and the right gear to fix your resistances. So you overall need some good gear. Like you see here, I increased the elemental resistances on one of the items. And here also to just get capped, even if it's not like so important on this one. And get extra fire damage from the jewels. So a lot of work for 1 million damage in the sweet spot, and our first hit does a bit more, like also a bit over 1 million damage. So it's not really worth it, but it's also not so bad. Like we get some damage, but it's not like you would say, ooh, that's like crazy good. I mean, we are also using two converted gems, which help our damage by quite a lot. Like you can see, it's like really a lot of leech and also some damage, losing some ignite DPS, and the dual strike is really important. Like again, 62,000 damage, running with precision, flammability, and the golem with a swap gem. Here also elemental army or something that makes them defensive is nice. Really. Yeah, but you can drop the golem, it's not that important on this build. Having the setup to have the double war cheese with multiple totems is really nice after the first strike to have them both activated so that you have some nice extra damage. Anger, Skitterbots, War Banner, so if you would add enhance Jewel to reduce the mana cost, you also could fit Clarity to get some extra damage and vitality. So there are some ways to increase the damage, but it won't get like really big. So I would be curious if you have any ideas to make this build better or anyhow to build around the new support gem. I really like the idea, but that's the try I liked to play. And yeah, it has some advantages. We have like the overleech, we have alignment, immunity pretty easy. We have the Flask Mastery, which I think is a really good node. And with the high crit chance on the first hit at least, we have a nice way to get it up on the beginning on the fights if we are using all our flasks to increase also our damage. So there are some points on it, and I would like to showcase you my character with it, but he died to DC, so I just threw some equipment on one of the characters I had, and anything I could find to make it somehow workable. The gems are not really big level, so there's missing a lot, but I think it's like okay to showcase the playstyle overall. As you can see on the top right, we have a nice bar, and guys, give me a second because I see that you don't see anything, or not everything. So just let me switch for a second. Now you see everything, and yeah. So yeah, the Ignite Proliferate does a great job, even if it's not level. And as you can see here, all my skills will level up. And yeah, on the top right you see the stacks we have. So we are trying to get around 13, which probably works in some situations. Like, we really want it in boss fights. The ignite proliferation gets bigger and bigger. And as you can see now we are on 10, and we don't want to go like really over 13. 14 I think is also okay. Do you see at the moment this character reaches 7 around average, I would say. Like, and that's why I think like having dual strike is a really good idea. And I think if you throw enough gear on him, it sure could work. But like, I think the point is a bit like in PoE, if you throw enough gear on something, pretty much anything works. So I'm not sure. Are there better builds? Are there better ideas? I think still, it's overall a fun spec. I did level my HC character with it pretty nice. Like, we get some decent ignite chance overall with low gear, so it's actually pretty okay to level as this character. But it's never like being really great. And I leveled him as my second character, so I already had some decent gear, so it's probably not a league starter. And yeah, I would be really interested what you think of this build. And we'll probably die here. No, we don't. Yeah. Also, if you make a character like this, try to have some level gems. Like, my ignite proliferation is like around level 10. That's hurting the build at the moment really hard. But I think it's a nice idea for showcasing the build. And I would be really interested what you think about it. See you in the next one. Goodbye.